Thanks, David. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm just a simple little fellow from a very small operation in southeastern Minnesota. I was here last year, and you were so friendly that when David extended another invitation, I immediately decided that was a good idea. And then I come out here, and James wants to put me out of business. He's lobbying for the electric utilities. In reality, though, that's a great argument. I think that may well, in fact, be the key to building out rural America. It's rather dangerous for me to be here. The danger is that I don't want you to believe that I'm arrogant. I don't want you to think that I'm telling you that I've found a one-size-fits-all approach to success, because that isn't the case. And I don't want you to think that the HBC model is the only model. It's not. But I can tell you that in the last 6 months, we have had a number of analysts crawling around HBC trying to figure out what the HBC model really is. And I've been waiting for them to make their conclusions because, frankly, I would sure as hell like to know. I believe it is the world's shortest business plan. That business plan is only 4 words long. It's do the right thing. I think it's do the right thing and live your values. And there's one HBC value that I believe resonates with all of our employees, and that is that we will treat our customers and each other as we would treat mom. I think that if we live that, the rest of it begins to take care of itself. The HBC story began in 1992 when Bob Kierlin, the founder of Fastenal Company, called one morning at 5 o'clock to say, I've got a little assignment I'd like you to look at. That little assignment was to see if that new thing called fiber would be helpful to education. Bob said that he wanted me and a friend of ours to do a feasibility study to find the answer to that question. He wanted it delivered in 3 pages or less, including a budget. And the goal was, will fiber help us extend the reach of teaching and learning? The goal was, or the answer was that yes, it will be extremely helpful to education, but it will be expensive. And if we're really serious about education, we can't stop with just connecting our educational institutions to a very limited network. But we got started with an educational network known as Luminet. One of HBC's keys to success all along has been great partnerships. And we found great partnerships in corporate America where we didn't expect to find them. The executive vice president of US West stepped up when we told him our vision and said, you know what, we're not going to do that. And rural America is going to be disadvantaged. Let's see if we can help you. They came in with an all-fiber network and $500,000 to help us reach our goal. And the chairman of Sprint's hospitality division, a native Winonan, also stepped up with human resource talent and dollars as well. We involved the community early on in the process, said, we're not sure we know what we're doing, but we're pretty sure you'll help us figure it out. The Data Internet group We appointed chairman for all of the groups that were created. And the chair of the Data Internet Group came to me the day after the first meeting and asked me if they could use Sampson Hall. At the time, I was an administrator at Winona State University. Sampson Hall was a 900-seat auditorium, and they had had several thousand people show up for the first Data Internet Group meeting, if you can believe it. The conclusion of that group was that we had to become an ISP, one of the first small-town ISPs in the country, which, by the way, I consider our best decision and our worst decision all wrapped up in one decision. It was best because it certainly put our community in touch with the world. It helped our educational institutions fulfill their mission, but the fact of the matter was that our human resource could never keep up with the demand. In 1997, Luminet actually began to operate in 94. It was announced late in 93. In 1997, Bob Kierlin at a Luminet board meeting said simply, "Is this the time?" And he was talking about the time to build that expansion project. And I made the same comment I had made in 1992. Boy, that's going to be expensive. And his comment was, "Didn't it work out okay last time? I sort of took care of the funding and you guys sort of took care of the ideas and we got it done." And so Bob and his partners put up the first $8 million to create Hiawatha Broadband, and they donated those first 800 million shares of stock to the not-for-profit community in Winona, largely educational institutions. We built HBC for three very specific reasons. First, to continue Luminet's education mission. Secondly, to put into place in our community a state-of-the-art network for economic development reasons, because we knew the monopoly providers wouldn't do that. And the third reason was to offer choice in areas previously occupied by monopolists. So I feel honor-bound to make sure that each of our competitors has at least one customer left when we start activating communities. We spent a full day talking about what would make us different. We determined that customer service had to be at the top of the list, and a second differentiator was going to be local programming, because our community did not have a television station, and therefore it was largely overlooked by the regional telecasters. The first thing that we did was to determine that customers would be friends and not customers. We decided to involve them by asking them what they wanted. We told them we would respond candidly to their questions, and we would constantly monitor how we were doing against our goals. The second thing we wanted to be was a great place to work. Disney helped us with that initiative, and today we monitor that carefully, and we maintain a very open relationship with our employees. And today we serve 16 markets in southeastern Minnesota. Our largest market is 14,000 passings. Our smallest is 68, and our penetration ranges from 61 to 75% in the 10 markets that are mature. 6 markets are just being finished, but we have exceeded 30% in all 6 of those that are now being activated. Our FTTH markets include 60% of our passings. We went cash flow positive in 2004. That, by the way, is the same time that monopolists tell us it takes them to become cash flow positive, although we did it in a competitive environment. And we achieved profitability in 2005, according to the FCC, the first overbuilder that did that. But the thing that I'm proudest of is that every one of our markets is larger today than it was when the network was built. That to me is a wonderful thing, because in several of those markets, they had for 6 decades been experiencing population declines. Each of our mature markets has new business today. Each of our markets today has new telecommuting residents, and we're pretty happy with what we have experienced. It's been a lot of hard work. It's been a lot of listening and a lot of trying to do the right thing. Our future is to keep on investing in rural America, which means continuing to use our profits to develop new markets. The fact of the matter is, as James said, rural America needs a lot of help. We're a tiny little company trying to do a good job of helping rural America with its connectivity projects. We will do that in almost any way that it makes sense. We have never gotten a cent from the government. We tried, but they didn't like our stimulus proposal. And so we decided they were right. We decided to do those 6 markets anyway. Those are the 6 we're currently finishing. The only thing is, the opportunities are so very, very great, and our ability to respond is so very, very small. But one community at a time, we will continue to do our share for now and into the future. Thanks.